let's start by looking at a couple of ways that we could access elements in the DOM. So I've got this simple page here that I've got opened up. I've got these two divs. I'm using some classes to select them. And let's just use a couple of script tags here. And what we'll do is we will use the document query selector. So if I go over here and I look, document query selector, I'll see that this is a method of the DOM. The document object. And what I could end up doing here is I could go over here and I could say first equals, and I could use document query selector. In the same way that I'm styling this, I could say, well, let's look at our div and let's look at the P. And if I just did this, by default, even though there's two of these, it only gives me the first one. And if I go over here, I could say console.log first. And what I end up getting back is I end up getting back this div, even though there's two of them. If I wanted the first one, I could do first child, and I'll get hello world, which is what I got before. I could do last child, which will end up giving me the last one. And if I wanted to get multiple ones of them, instead of using query selector, which only gives me the first, and just to show you this, if I went over here and I said, give me the divs that are underneath the div, I don't have any of them in my document, so I get null. But if I said, give me the P under divs, which I saw work before, gives me the first one. If I wanted to get all of them, what I end up getting back here is a node list. And this node list, let's actually put this in a variable called list. This might feel like an array. If I went over here and I said list 0, it would give me the first one. If I said list 1, it would give me the last one. But in a lot of methods in the DOM, where you get things back, you get a collection, it feels like an array. In fact, it actually does have a for each, because I can get elements by an index, and for each will end up working. But if I went over here and I tried to look at filter, which is an array method, I wouldn't end up seeing it. So one thing you could do here is you could end up getting these results back, and you could splat it out to an array, and then you could end up using array methods on it. But if you just went over here and did a console.log, and we said array is array, document query selector all, and we went over here and we said, hey, let's look for the tags called foo, which don't exist anyway. So we'll get an empty array. But if we looked at this, we would see that that wasn't an array. But if we splatted it out, we would actually see, let's see, I'm doing this reverse. Let's just switch this up real quick. So here, we'll get this collection back and splat it out, even though it's going to be empty. And this will end up getting treated like an array. So again, two common ways, and there are other ways as well, but both of these, in the end, end up giving you DOM elements. One of them just ends up giving you the first match. The other one ends up giving you a collection, which you can treat as array-like or actually turn it into an array.